And another thing is, like, I see a lot of people actually having a hard time with essentially managing their time and productivity. So this is one of the things that I say, like, knowing, like, having all your tasks in your head is not a good idea. So one of the main things I would say, like, once you established your goals, once you know, especially things that you have to do for your work, have all your tasks written down in one place. For example, it could be a spreadsheet, or it could be even your journal. But I would say using some sort of like an Excel file or a spreadsheet, and having everything written down, and then check them off as you complete them, and make sure that, like, as you have your tasks in one place, and then you order them based on your urgency and the importance that you want to complete them as well. Because if you don't organize based on the urgency and the importance, you might not know when things need to complete. So make sure you have written down all the things in one place, organized based on the urgency and importance, right? And then block the activity into your calendar to complete them, right? Because if you don't allocate actual time to complete, you might not get into the path of you actually completing it, right? So that's important to remember. And then make sure that for every work session, everything that you put on as your task in your calendar, you have an objective. Like, for example, like, say that I'm preparing for this presentation, I would allocate like 90 minutes, and then I would say complete preparing 20 slides for the presentation. So I'll be very specific, and it will be very completion mentality, what I would say. So I'm going to try to complete it, right? It might not be always successful. Sometimes I need more time, but the mentality I'm going in is with a clear objective of wanting to complete it. So that's very important to remember when you're proceeding and moving forward with your goals, okay? And then also planning the day and a week in advance. So one of the main things I see in highly successful individuals is that they have a tendency to plan their day, right? Write down the tasks they're going to do for the day, and they write down all the things they're going to do in the week. They're going to have that planned out. So make sure that you can have that planned out. You have that going as well. It will make your work, and it will make your progression a lot more easier to deal with. Okay. And make sure that you also don't multitask while you're working. Another a big problem I see that it's actually, when I was doing a lot of research, a lot of my clients, a lot of executives have a tendency to multitask, and they don't focus on deep work, right? Deep work means like allocating undisturbed work on specific tasks and getting it done before moving on to multiple things like checking emails and things like that. So make sure that you actually don't multitask and work on one task at a time, because it will prevent you from like losing energy, getting tired during the day faster, and things like that as well. Okay. Very important one to remember, because I see a lot of people get caught up doing multitasking, including me sometimes, but it's something that I've definitely stopped more and more recently. And then also the Pomodoro technique, which is essentially working for 25 minutes and taking a 5-minute break. Again, it's only if you're having a hard time working in a concentrated fashion with objectives. If you don't have that, that's fine, but it's something I recommend for especially people who are studying for exams, for students, or just if you're having a hard time completing something, but you need to get it done. I say, use the Pomodoro technique. Essentially, you study for about 25 or work for 25 minutes, and then you take a 5-minute break, right? And then make sure that, like I said, the record and track your tasks. It is the key to completion, and completion is the key to accomplishing your goals, right? So that mentality with your tasks and work needs to be there, because this is something I see a lot of people having an issue with. And a lot of people also ask me, like, how do you manage your personal and work professional life? So what I say is that create 2 lists, right? So one for 8 hours when you're working, one for 8 hours when you're home. All right. And then organize it separately. Don't mix them up together. Have 2 different separate lists, and then work them at different times, depending on when you can. So that's something for you to remember as well. So you can do the same thing, one list for work tasks, one list for personal tasks, and then you work on them separately with the urgency, and then you block time and things like that. Okay.